Good day, everyone. So, welcome to the first week of the second quarter in general mathematics. Here are the content standards and performance standards. And here are the MELs, or most essential learning competencies. First, the learner illustrates simple and compound interests. The learner distinguishes between simple and compound interests. And the learner computes interest, maturity value, future value, and present value in simple interest and compound interest environment. Okay, so our first lesson is about simple and compound interests. So here are the objectives. Okay, so before we go on to our lesson, let's have an activity. Okay, so this is just a recall in our changing or transforming fraction to decimal. So first, the direction is to change each fraction to decimal. So ang gagawin lang natin dito, di ba? We will just divide. So the numerator divided by the denominator. Okay, so for example, 1 over 4. So that means 1 divided by 4. So in decimal, that is 0.25. So we can also use our calculator, no? So for example, 3 over 5. Okay, so 3 over 5 or 3 divided by 5. Okay, change natin to decimal. So 3 over 5 or 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. Okay, so 1 over 8, 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. 9 over 10 is 0.9. And lastly, 6 over 25 or 6 divided by 25 is 0.24. So what's the importance of, again, recalling this transformation? So gagamitin natin siya mamaya sa pag-compute ng simple interest and future value. Okay, so now naman, we will change the decimals into percentages. So add the percentages you get correct. Okay, so practice lang. Again, for example, we have 0.53. Okay, so basically, pag kino-convert natin sa percentages, minumultiply natin sa 100. Okay, so we will just simply multiply to 100, and it means kapag minultiply natin ang 100 sa decimal, we will just have to move the decimal point. Okay, so since we have two zeros here, we can just move the decimal point to the right. Okay, so dalawang zero, so dalawang beses natin i-move yung decimal point. Okay, so 1 and then 2. So we get 53. So our answer for number 1 is 53%. For number 2, 0.14, again, lipat ng dalawang beses or yung decimal point. So we get 14%. 0.06. So makukuha natin kapag minove natin yung decimal point to the right ng dalawang beses, we get 0 or 6%. Okay? For number 4, 0.12, we get 12%. And for 0.01, that is 1%. For 0.66, that's 66%. 0.32, that's 32%. 0.72, that's 72%. 0.88, 88%. 0.99, that's 91, 91%. Okay? So nakita natin yung pattern, no? So move lang natin yung decimal point. to the right ng dalawang beses. Okay? So how about we have 0.6, for example. So 0.6, convert natin into percentage. So we have, okay, so we will move the decimal point ng dalawang beses to the right. So 1, 2. Okay? So wala siyang katabing digit. So we will just add 0. So 0.6 in decimal is 60% kapag kinonvert sa percentage. Okay? So now let's move on. Okay, so here our introduction. So ngayong second quarter naman sa general mathematics, we will focus more on the finance, no? So yung mga interest, no? So karaniwan natin yan nami-meet sa mga bangko, 'di ba? Kapag or let's just say we invest our money sa bank, no? So meron yung interest. Okay? So or if meron tayong loan naman, pag sinabi nila, okay, pag nangutang tayo, sabihin nila, 'di ba? Minsan 10% yung interest, no? So dito matututunan natin kung paano mag-compute ng future value ng ating mga pera. Okay, so this is our introduction. So we have to work with money every day. So while balancing your checkbook or calculating your monthly expenditures on milk tea requires only arithmetic. So when we start saving, planning for retirement, or need a loan, we need more mathematics. So more on, ayan, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, no? Finance. And the definition is, it is defined as the system that includes the flow of money, the granting of credit, making of investments, and the provision of banking facilities. So interest is defined as the cost of borrowing money, as in the case of interest charged on a loan balance. Okay? So interest yun yung dinadagdag sa utang mo, no? Kapag nagbayad ka, so hindi lang yung mismong halaga ng inutang mo, yun din yung babayaran mo. Okay, so may interest siya. Okay, conversely, interest can also be the rate paid or for money on deposit, as in the case of a certificate of deposit. So interest can be calculated in two ways. Okay, so we have simple interest. Okay, so dalawang type ang interest, we have simple and compound. So yun po yung pag-aaralan natin for this week. So now, illustrating simple and compound interest. So ano bang pinagkaiba nila? Okay, so these are the definition of terms muna, no? So makaka-encounter kasi tayo sa mga worded problems natin. Okay, so we have first the lender or creditor. So yun yung person who invests the money or makes the funds available. So siya yung nagpapautang, no? So borrower naman, siya yung umutang. So person who owes the money or avails of the funds from the lender. So origin or loan date, okay? So yun yung pinagsimulan or kung kailan humiram ng pera. Repayment date or maturity date. Okay, so pag may pinag-usapan kayo na kung kailan niya babayaran, so that is the repayment date or the maturity date. Okay, date on which money borrowed or invested, length of time between the origin and maturity dates. So the time or term, it is the amount of time in years the money is borrowed or invested. So the length of time between the origin and maturity date. So pwedeng after 3 years, no? Tsaka siya magbabayad. Okay, more definition of terms. Principal, it is the amount of money borrowed or invested on the origin date. Okay, so yun yung kung magkano yung inutang or hiniram. Okay, the rate, so annual rate, usually in percent, okay, charged by the lender or rate of increase of the investment. So, yan. Pwedeng sabihin na kapag humiram tayo ng pera, so meron yung 10% na interest. Okay? So, 10%. Kapag naman i-convert natin sa decimal, baligtad. So, mula dun sa pinaka-rightmost na decimal point, okay? So, move natin to the left naman. So, kanina, di ba, nag-convert tayo ng decimal to percentage. So, ngayon naman, so gamitin natin mamaya rin to. So, percent to decimal. So, 10% is 0.10 in decimal. Okay? So, interest, so amount paid or earned for the use of money. Okay? So, yun yung dagdag, no? Sa hiniram mo. So, simple interest, interest that is computed on the principal and then added to it. Okay? So, yung principal, ang basis nitong simple interest, no? Pag naman compound interest, okay? So, interest is computed on the principal and also on the accumulated past interest. So, yun yung pinagkaiba nila. Mas makikita natin mamaya yan kapag kinompute na natin, no? So, si compound interest daw, hindi lang siya nakabase sa principal amount. So, nakabase rin siya sa previous or the accumulated interest. Okay? So, maturity value or future value, amount after 30 years that the lender receives from the borrower on the maturity date. So, for example, humiram ako ng 1,000 pesos sa kaibigan ko. Okay? After 3 years, okay, since may interest nga, naging 1,200 na yung ibinigay ko sa kanya. So, after 3 years, no, so naging 1,200. And this is called the future value. Okay, so let's now go on to our first example, no? Para makita natin yung pinagkaiba ng simple and compound interest. So suppose you won 10,000 pesos and you plan to invest it for 5 years. So i-invest natin, meaning ipapasok natin sa bangko, no? So, meron tayong dalawang option daw dito. So, ako, cooperative group offers 2% simple interest rate per year. So, yung isa daw, nag-offer sa'yo ng 2% simple interest rate per year. Yung isa naman, bangko, no? Nag-offer siya ng 2% same rate of interest pero compounded annually. Okay? So, may dalawa kang option, simple interest or compound interest. So, ano kaya doon yung pipiliin mo? Saan ka kaya dapat mag-invest? No? So, first, dito muna tayo tumingin sa simple interest. Okay? So, kukumpitin natin kung magkano ba yung pwede kong kitain kapag ang pinili ko ay yung unang option, which is the simple interest. So, here, paano ba kino-compute? We have a time for the first year. Okay? Yung principal natin, okay? Mahalaga rin pala muna dito is ma-identify natin yung mga given. Okay? So, what are given? Okay? So, P, di ba? Yun yung principal natin, which is 10,000 pesos. Okay? So, plano mo daw to na invest for 5 years. So, that is our T. So, 5 years. So, T for time na rin, no? Okay. So, rate of interest. So, pares siyang 2%. So, we just wanna use R. So, that is 2%. Or, kapag kinonvert sa decimal, that is 0.02. Okay. So, interest dito, di ba? Pare-parehas lang po na 2%. Depende, no? After 5 years, yung titingnan natin or kukumputin. Okay? So, sa simple interest natin, for the first year, sa unang year, kikita ang pera natin, magiging 10,200. Okay? So, sa second year naman, after 2 years, naging 10,400 na yung pera na ininvest mo. Okay? So, after 3 years, magiging 10,600. After 4 years, naging 10,800. After 5 years, naging 11,000. So, makalipas ang isang taon, no? Or ang 5 taon, so yung 10,000 mo, naging 11,000. Meaning, kumita ka ng 1,000 pesos after mo i-invest sa cooperative group yung iyong pera. Okay? So, paano ba kinompute yun? No? Kung napansin natin, nag-a-add siya ng 200 pesos every year. Okay? So, kinocompute yon. Okay? Ang base niya ay yung principal lagi, no? 10,000 times the rate of interest, which is 0.02, no? Laging nakadecimal dapat yung gagamitin. And then yung T, na multiply lang natin lahat yan para makuha natin yung kung magkano yung interest. Okay, let's try. So, for example, sa unang year, kakomputin natin. Okay, kung gusto mong malaman kung magkano na yung kinita mo sa unang taon pa lang. So, 10,000 times the rate of interest, which is 0.02, multiply to 1. And the answer is 200, as you can see here. Na? So, sa unang taon, kumita na siya agad ng 200 pesos. Okay? Pero 5 taon mo siya ininvest or 5 taon siya nakatago sa bangko. So, 5 ang ilalagay natin sa T. So, 1,000 pesos yung interest, no? Yung idadagdag sa 10,000 mo or yung ikinita mo after 5 years. So, ganun po kino-compute yung simple interest. Now, paano naman yung second option? So, yung bangko naman nag-offer sa'yo ng 2% pero compounded annually. Okay, titingnan natin. So, ganito po ang compound interest. So, sa unang year, tingnan natin. So, same lang, no? 10,000 minultiply sa 0.02, P times the R times the T. Okay? And ang interest or ang kinita na ng pera ko ay 200 pesos. Okay? And after that, okay, ang maturity value or ang future value ng pera ko after 1 year pa lang is 10,200. Okay? So after 1 year ulit, no? So magkano kaya ang kikitain ng pera ko? So as we can see here, yan, unlike yung sa simple interest, 'di ba? Pare-parehas lang na 10,000 po itong nandito sa unahang mga value. Okay? Pero dito sa compound interest, kung mapapansin natin, nag-iiba na siya, no? So yun yung mainly pinagkaiba nila kasi. So hindi lang siya nakabase sa principal amount. Nakabase siya sa previous na maturity value. Okay? So 10,200 yung naging pera mo after 1 year. So yun yung kukumputin natin for the second year. So 10,200, yun yung mag-i-interest. Okay? Times 0.02. Since yung time na lumipas is 1 lang. Okay? So 1 lang po yung lalagay natin dito sa t. So ang answer naman natin is 204 na yung naging interest or compound interest. So yung 204 na yon is i-add pa natin sa 10,200. So after 2 years, ito na yung naging pera natin. 10,404. Okay? So yung 10,404 na yun ulit yung gagamitin natin sa next year. Okay? 10,404, yun yung mag-i-interest. Okay? Ang interest na ngayon ay 208.08 pesos. Then i-add dun sa 10,404 which is the previous value ng pera ko. Okay? So, naging 10,612. Yung 10,612 naman na yun na rin yung gagamitin dito sa pag-compute ng sa susunod na taon. Okay? So, magi-interest yon, so on and so forth. Hanggang after ng 5 taon, ito na ang naging pera ko. So, 11,040 pesos, 0.81 centavos. Okay? So, after 5 years, ayan, so simple interest remains constant throughout the investment term. Ayan. So, dito makikita natin yung interest. Okay? So, yung sa simple interest kanina, laging 200 lang yung nadadagdag sa pera ko. Pero dito sa compound interest, okay? So, the interest from the previous year also earns interest. So, yun yung sinasabi ko na nag-i-interest din yung previous money ko. Okay? So, thus, the interest grows every year. Okay? So, compare natin, 11,040.81 yung sa compound interest. Dito naman sa simple interest is 11,000 lang. So, ang pipiliin mo, of course, is yung mas kikita ka ng malaki. Okay? So, which is yung dun sa compounding interest. Now, let's define the simple interest. Punta tayo sa simple interest. So, annual simple interest, okay, denoted by I sub S is equal to P RT. So, multiplication po ang operation dito, no? P multiply to R multiply to T. So, what is I sub S? That is the simple interest. P is the principal or the amount invested or yung pera sa simula. R is the simple interest rate. T is the term or the time in years. Okay, so we proceed to example number 1. A bank offers 0.25% annual simple interest rate for a particular deposit. How much interest will be earned if 1 million pesos is deposited in this savings account for 1 year? Okay, so nag-deposit ka daw ng 1 million pesos tapos sa bangko na mayroong 0.25% interest. Okay, so simple lang po yun. Okay, identify the given. First, we have the P, which is the 1 million pesos, yung pera mo at, at the start. Okay, R is 0.25%. Okay, naka-percent pa po yan. Converting to decimal, move yung decimal place to the left. 1, 2. Okay, kaya po naging 0.0025. Then T, so ang kukumpitin mo daw is after 1 year. Okay, so magkano kaya yung naging interest? So find I sub S. So sabi, we have the formula PRT lang, no? I sub S equal to PRT multiply the principal to the rate of interest and to the number of years. Okay, so 1 million times 0.0025 times 1. Okay, that's 1 million times 0.0025 times 1. So ang interest ay 2,500. No? Okay, so the interest earned is 2,500. Okay, so that is for simple interest lang. So after 1 year daw, yung 1 million mo, kung ganito yung um, mga instruction or yung rate of interest, so kikita yung pera mo, yung 1 million mo ng 2,500 after ng isang taon. Okay? So example number 2, how much interest is charged when 50,000 pesos is borrowed for 9 months at an annual interest rate of 10%. Okay? So dito, utang naman to or hihiram ng pera. Okay? So 50,000 pesos yung hiniram for 9 months lang. Okay? Hindi umabot ng isang taon. Pero ang interest rate is 10% annually. So annual is taon-taon. Annual interest rate yung 10%. Okay? So for our given, so P is equal to 50,000. Since yun yung inutang or hiniram sa unang at the start. So R is 10%, which is equal to 0.10. So T is equal to 9/12 years. So T is in years. So lagi po kasing in years tong T, no? Pero ang given natin is 9 months lang, hindi umabot ng isang taon. So i-divide natin sa 12. So 9/12. That is 0.75 yung ating T. Or pwede rin natin gamitin na 9/12 na siya as isa formula natin. Okay? So again, we are looking for I sub S or the interest. So magkano yung idadagdag sa inutang or hiniram kapag magbabayad na. So, formula lang again, PRT, pag multiply natin lahat ng given, PRT, 50,000 pesos times 0.10 times 9/12. So, magkano kaya yon? So, 50,000 pesos times 0.10 times 9/12. So, that is 3,750 pesos. Okay, so yun yung interest na kinita ng nagpahiram sa'yo ng pera after 9 months. So the interest earned is 3,750 pesos. So for our next example, complete naman natin yung table. So per row to tinitingnan, okay? So tingin muna tayo sa first row. Okay? Ang hinahanap or ang nawawala is yung principal amount. Ito pong letter A natin. Okay? Ang given naman sa iyo is yung rate, yung time, and yung interest. Okay? So this time, given yung interest sa iyo, ang hinahanap ay yung principal amount or yung pera sa simula. Okay? So paano natin kakomputing yon? So for letter A, the unknown principal can be obtained by P is equal to I sub S divided by RT. So, imamanipulate lang natin yung ating mga formula. So, we have I sub S, di ba? Which is equal to P RT. So, since ito yung nawawala, no? Yung P yung ihihiwalay natin. So, bababa tong RT sa kabilang side na equation. So, we have this formula na divide, no? So, P is equal to I sub S over RT. So, substitute lang natin yung mga values. So, 1,500 yung interest based on the table over 0.025 times 4. So, given po itong mga value na to. Okay? So, and our answer for the principal amount is 15,000 pesos. Okay? So, for the second row or letter B, ang unknown naman ay yung rate. No? So, yung rate naman, ganun pa rin, manipulation of the formula, original formula, which is I sub S times PRT is equal to PRT. Okay? So, yung R naman yung ihihiwalay natin. Ganun pa rin po. I sub S yung nasa numerator. And then, yung dalawa pang given ay nasa baba na. So, pag nilipat kasi natin yan or dinivide natin sa PRT lahat yan or sa RT or sa PT pala, no? PT para ang matira natin is yung R. So maka-cancel out yung P at saka T. So ang matitira dito sa kabilang side na equation is R na lang. So R is equal to I sub S over PT. Okay? So substitution ng mga given. So 4,860 over 36,000 times 1.5. And our answer is 0.09 in decimal. Okay, and in percentage, that is 9%. Okay, so ang rate of interest pala nun is 9%. For letter C, okay, ang nawawala naman ay yung time. Okay, so pwede ang mga tanong dito, humiram ako ng 5,000 pesos tapos may interest na 10%, simple interest. Tapos ang binayaran ko is 6,000. So magkano kaya or ilang taon kaya yung tinagal nung paghihiram ko ng pera. Okay? So yung T is equal to IS over PR, substitution ng formula, 275 over 250,000 times 0.0025005. So time is 0.22 years. Okay? So kung ano yung makakompute natin dito na sagot, so that is in years. So again, kapag T, okay, lagi po siyang naka-years. Okay? So that is 275 over 250,000 times 0.005. So our answer is 0.22 years. Okay, pwede nating i-multiply to 12 or just i-multiply nga sa 12 na para malaman natin kung ilang months yung 0.22 years. So 0.22 years times 12. Okay, that is barely 2 months or magti 3 months na. And for letter D, ang unknown is yung simple interest or yung original formula natin. So I sub S is equal to PRT. So we get I sub S is equal to 500,000 times 0.125 times 10. Magkano ang kinita? That will be 625,000 pesos. Let's check 500,000. Unang pera, okay, with 12.5% or 0.125. Okay, after 10 years, magkano kaya yung kikitain? And that will be 625,000 pesos. So, sobrang laki no, ng kinita. Kung ganito yung condition. So, after 10 years mo dapat kukunin, tapos 0.125% yung interest. Now, maturity value. Ito, okay? So, ini-add lang natin yung simple interest or yung kinita. So, yung the money earned by simple interest, no? Dun sa P or the principal amount. Okay? So, for example, meron akong 1,000 pesos na hiniram sa kaibigan ko, tapos may interest na 200 pesos. Okay, so yun yung interest. So, i-add lang yan para malaman ko yung maturity value or yung babayaran mo na. Okay? Or kapag nag-invest ka sa bangko, yun yung kikitain or kabuo ang pera mo after ilang taon. Okay? So where F is equal to the maturity or future value, P is principal, I sub S is still the simple interest. So nadlang natin yung P. Okay? Substituting I sub S by PRT, no? To kasing I sub S na to, 'di ba? Ang formula niya is PRT. So sinubstitute, we get P plus PRT. Okay? So pwede kong ilabas CP. Okay? And then times 1 plus RT. So this will be the final formula for the future or the maturity value for a simple interest. No? So tatandaan tong formula na to. F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Okay, where the F is future value or maturity value, P is the principal, R is interest rate, T is term or time in years. So let's have example number 1. Find the maturity value or future value if 1 million pesos is deposited in a bank at an annual simple interest of 0.25% after letter A, after 1 year, letter B, after 5 years. Okay, given 1 or P is equal to 1 million pesos, then R is 0.25% or 0.0025. So magkaiba yung years natin. So dito muna tayo sa letter A. After 1 year, so T is equal to 1 muna. So letter A, what is the maturity value or future value F after 1 year? Okay, so substitute lang natin sa formula natin for F. Letter B, yan, after 5 years, magkaiba lang yung kanilang T. So, dun tayo sa A. When T is equal to 1, okay, dalawang method. Kung hindi natin dediretsahin, compute muna yung I sub S or the interest or yung kikitain, that is 2,500. Okay, so by using the formula for the maturity value, F is equal to P plus IS or P multiply to 1 plus RT. So that is 1 million plus 2,500. Okay. So 1 million 2,500. Okay. So, yung method 2 natin is diretso na. So, sa formula, P multiply to 1 plus RT. Okay? So, that is 1 million times 1 plus 0.0025 times 1. So, direct po ito na makukuha natin yung 1,02,500 agad-agad. Okay? So, using our calculator, kita ko, paano i-type? So, 1 million multiply to 1, quantity 1 plus, so 0.0025, quantity 1 ulit. Okay, so that is 1,02,500. So kapag ay hinahanap ay yung maturity value lang, so pwede na tayo na mag-proceed dun sa formula natin for the future or maturity value. Okay, moving on. Our answer, the future value or maturity value after 1 year is 1,02,500. Okay, for letter B, compute natin yung maturity value. Okay, yung method 1, kinocompute niya muna yung simple interest or yung interest earned at saka palang ina-add dun sa principal value. So 1 million plus 12,500, that is 1,012,500. Pag naman method 2, direct formula, F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Okay, that is 1 million times 1 plus 0.0025 times 5. So, ang naiba lang is yung T. Kanina po, this is 1 for T is equal to 1. Okay. So, the answer will be the future or maturity value after 5 years is 10,012,500. Okay. So, kung tayo ang papipilian, no? Pwedeng kung hindi naman kakailanganin agad-agad, pwede natin i-invest ang pera ng mas matagal. So, para mas matagal din or mas laki din yung interest na ma-earn ng pera natin na in-invest natin sa bangko or kung saan tayo mag-i-invest. Okay? So now, punta tayo sa compound interest. So the following table shows the amount at the end of each year if principal P is invested at an annual interest rate compounded annually. So compounded annually, computations for the particular example, P is equal to 100,000 and R is equal to 5% are also included. So given yung principal or yung unang pera mo, which is 100,000 pesos, okay, ang interest rate daw is 5% compounded annually. So hindi na po ito simple interest lang. This is a compound interest. Okay? So kagaya ng na-discuss na rin kanina, no? So hindi siya nakadepende lang sa principal value. Okay? So nakadepende siya sa previous amount. Okay, so for the first year, this is how we compute it. So P times 1 plus R. So that is P multiplied to 1 plus R. Okay, 100,000 times 1.05 is equal to 105,000 pesos. Okay, so yung 100,005 pesos na yon, mamumultiply dun sa still 1.05 na interest rate sa annually naman. So that is P times 1 plus R times 1 plus R is P times 1 plus R squared. Okay? So that is P times 1 plus R. Ito po. Okay? Ito yon yung 105,000 na compute natin previously. So yun na yung gagamitin natin. 105,000 pesos times 1.05. Okay? After 2 years pala, naging 110,000 na yung 100,000 mo. Okay? After 3 years, gusto mo pa mas lumaki yung pera mo, no? So, multiply ulit natin itong value na nakuha natin, yung pinakabagong value, which is 100,000, 110,250 sa 1.05 or 1 plus R. Okay? So, 1 plus R po yung 1.05 raised to 3. Okay? So, raised to 3 kasi after 3 years. Na? So, that is our T. Napapansin na ba natin yung pattern? Okay, so for the fourth year, ang nababago is ito pa lang exponent na to. So, P times 1 plus R cube multiplied to 1 plus R is equal to P times 1 plus R to the fourth. Okay po? So, mapapansin natin ulit, itong exponent lamang po yung nagbabago. And of course, kailangan natin makompute yung previous value. Okay? Bago natin makompute yung simple interest or the amount at the end of the year. Okay, so for the formula naman ng maturity value, ito po yun, F is equal to P times 1 plus R raised to T. So, exponent na ngayon yung ating T dito. So, sa simple interest, di ba, ang F or the future value is P multiplied to 1 plus IS. Okay, so we have or I times the R, I mean. Okay, so F, for simple interest, again, F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Okay. Pero sa ating compound interest, itong T natin is nasa labas na and naka-exponent. Okay? So para ma-compute yung interest earned or the compound interest, that is given by, okay, pagma-minus lang natin yung huling value dun sa unang value. So the future minus the present value. Okay? So that is the interest earned of your money. So let's have an example. Find the maturity value and the compound interest if 10,000 pesos is compounded annually at interest rate of 2% in 5 years. So ang hinahanap dito sa atin, maturity value tapos compounded annually. Okay? Pag nakita tayo ng compounded, ang gamitin natin is yung may exponent. Now, for our given, P is equal to 10,000 pesos. R is equal to 2% ang given, which is 0.02 in decimal. T is equal to 5 years or simply 5. We have we have to find A, maturity value F, and B, the compounded interest I sub C. Okay, so for our letter A, compute lang natin yung mga value or substitute lang natin sa formula. So P times F is equal to P times 1 plus R raised to T. Okay, so ganito yon sa calculator, then compute natin. So we have 10,000 multiplied to 1 plus 0.02 raised to 5. So ang pera na kinita natin is 11,040 pesos, 0.81 centavos. Okay? So for the interest earned, kapag minus lang natin yung 11,040 or the future dun sa pera at the start. Okay, so 11,040 and 81 centavos minus 10,000 is 1,040.81. So yun yung in-earn ng pera mo after in-invest. Okay, compounded yung interest. So find the maturity naman value and the interest if 50,000 pesos is invested at 5% compounded annually for 8 years. So sulat ulit natin lang yung mga given, then substitute natin sa formula natin. So we compute for the maturity value F and B, the interest earned, I sub C. Okay, so formula base again, F is equal to 1 plus R, F is equal to P times 1 plus R raised to T. Substituting the values given, 50,000 multiplied to 1 plus 0.05 raised to 8 raised to the 8th power. So yung 8 is the number of years. Okay, so that is, okay, we have our answer. Let's compute using our calculator. So 50,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.05 raised to 8. Okay? So ito po yung future value or total na kikitain ng ating pera. Okay? So 73,872.77. Okay? So para makuha natin I sub C or yung interest earned, pag minus lang natin yung future sa present. Okay? Or P, principal amount. So 73,872.77 minus 50,000 is equal to 23,872.77. Okay? So the present value P at compound interest. So the present value or principal of the maturity value due in T years, any rate R can be obtained from the maturity value formula. F is equal to P times 1 plus R raised to T. Okay? So, paano naman kapag kapaligtaran, no? Kapag daw P naman yung nawawala, pero given ka ng F. Okay? So, ang mga tanong dito, no? Ang kinita mo, for example, is 10,500. Okay? So, tas given din yung rate of interest and number of years. Kumita ka daw ng 10,500 after 3 years. Magkano kaya yung ininvest mong pera? No? So, that is, ang hinahanap is yung the principal amount or letter P. So, manipulate lang natin din yung ating formula. Ang dapat matira is yung P since siya yung nawawala. Okay? Itong katabi ni P, bababa lang siya. Okay, so our formula will be P is equal to F over 1 plus R raised to T. Okay, so rules of exponent, kapag nasa denominator, exponent, kapag itinaas natin sa numerator, so magiging negative. Okay, so pwede natin gamitin itong formula na ito. P is equal to F times 1 plus R raised to negative T. So we have the example number 3. Let's try this. So what is the present value of 50,000 pesos due in 7 years if money is worth 10% compounded annually? Okay? So sabi, merong 50,000 na need bayaran, no? After 7 years. Okay? So 10% compounded annually daw. So ang given pala natin dito is yung future value or the maturity value. Okay? So formula or given muna, no? F is equal to 50,000, R is 10%, 0.1 in decimal, T is equal to 7 years. So find P. Formula base, P is equal to F over 1 plus R raised to T. So that is 50,000 pesos over 1 plus 0.1 raised to 7. Okay, so ang present or the principal amount pala ay 25,657.91. Okay? So how about naman, meron tayong tinatawag na compounding more than once a year. So may encounter tayo. Compounded kanina, compounded annually. So annually means annually, yearly po yun. No? So meron tayong ma-encounter pwedeng semi-annually. Okay? So semi-annually, meaning hahatiin natin yung isang taon sa dalawa. Semi kasi means 2. Divide to 2. No? So, pag semi-annually, so dalawang beses sa isang taon. Pag naman quarterly, so hinati natin sa 4. No? Kapag naman quarter is 4, di ba? Kapag naman monthly, so hinati natin sa buwan-buwan daw eh. Ilang buwan ba meron sa isang taon? That is 12. No? So pwedeng ma-compound more than once a year. Pwedeng compounded semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, etc. Okay? So yun po yung compounding more than once a year. Let's see how it works. So frequency of conversion, M, is equal to the number of conversion periods in 1 year. Okay? So yung M, yun yung pinakita ko kanina. Pag semi-annually, dalawang beses, no? So dalawang beses siya magko-compound interest or mag-i-interest, no? So conversion or interest period, time between successive conversions of interest. So we have the total number of conversion periods N, which is M multiply sa time or sa years. So yung T laging naka-years, di ba? Tapos yung M, yung number of conversion period or yung frequency of conversion. Na? So that is total number of conversion periods N. Okay. So for compounding more than once a year, more definitions. Nominal rate. Okay. So karaniwan, di ba? Earlier, we use R for the rate. Pero ngayon, since pwede siyang ma-compound, hindi lang annually, so we will now call it the nominal rate or the I raised to M. So ganyan po magsulat. So kapag compounded semi-annually daw, semi-annually is 2 yung M. No? Kasi dinivide mo sa dalawa yung isang taon. So that is I raised to 2. So that's how we denote the nominal rate. How about the rate of interest for each conversion period? Rate of interest, yun na yung hahatiin natin yung nominal rate or yung given na rate of interest into the frequency of conversion. So number of conversion period. Okay? So J is equal to I raised to M over M. So may bago na tayong letter J. That is yung given na rate divided by sa M. So for example, we have 10% compounded semi-annually na. Semi-annually. So 10% compounded semi-annually. J is equal to I raised to, since semi-annually, that means 2. I raised to 2 over the M, which is also 2. No? So yung I natin is I raised to 2 is equal to 10% or 0.10. So yun substitute natin sa ating formula is 0.10 over 2. And that is 0.10. That will be 0.05. Okay, so that will be our rate of interest, J. So, gamitin natin mamaya yan. Okay, the examples of nominal rates and the corresponding frequencies of conversion and interest rate for each period. Okay, so for example, sabi, 2% compounded annually. I raised to 1 lang yan kasi annually eh. So, hindi mo naman hinati sa ilang beses yung isang taon. So, I raised to 1 pa rin, 0.02. Number of or frequency of conversions M is 1. Pag annually, 1. Okay, so yung J, yun yung kinompute natin katulad ng computation kanina. 0.02 over 1 over M is 0.02 pa rin or 2%. Na? Kapag compounded semi-annually, so one conversion period is 6 months. So hinati mo daw sa dalawa eh. So pag hinati mo ang isang taon sa dalawa, so every 6 months yon, no? Okay. So 2% is 0.02 over 2. That will be our J. 1% na yung J natin. Kapag naman compounded quarterly, hinati mo sa 4 yung isang taon. So every 3 months yon hanggang sa mabuo yung isang taon. So that is for our J, or for our M muna, that is 4. And for the J, 0.02 over 4, that is equal to 0.005, equal to 0.5%. For 2% compounded monthly, pag monthly, M or the frequency is 12, hatiin mo daw siya sa monthly. So ilang buwan ba meron sa isang taon? That is 12. So every month, monthly, 0.02 over 12. Okay, so that is our J. J will be 0.16%. For 2% compounded daily. So daily naman, ilang days ba sa isang taon? So 365. Our I raised to 365 is 0.02 pa rin. 365 yung M. Okay, for the J, we can compute it as 0.02 over 365. That will be equal to 0.00005 equals 0.005%. Okay, so yun lang po ang tatandaan kapag semi-annually 2 yung M, kapag quarterly 4, pag monthly 12, pag daily 365. Pag annually, lagi pong 1. Okay, so somehow may iba yung formula natin for the maturity value ng compound interest. So yung kanina, 'di ba? We have F is equal to P multiply to 1 plus R raised to T. So, ang madadagdagan lang naman yung M natin, no? So, puro M yung nadagdag, tapos napalitan lang yung R, no? So, ito ay yung J, I raised to M over M is yung J natin. So, basically, ang formula talaga is F is equal to P multiply to 1 plus J raised to T. Raised to M times T. Alright. Tatandaan po itong mga formula na ito. Okay. So our example number 1, find the maturity value. Okay. So maturity value nga hanapin, F na agad yon. And interest interest is I. If 10,000 pesos is deposited in a bank at 2% compounded quarterly for 5 years. So 2% compounded quarterly. Tapos meron tayong given na 5 years. So ano-ano kaya tong mga given na to? So sulat natin. So, mahalaga na sinusulat yung given para hindi tayo malito kung saan natin isa-substitute. So first, we have the principal amount which is the 10,000 pesos i-invest natin. We have the nominal rate I raised to 4. Bakit 4? Since quarterly yung sabi, compounded quarterly. And that is 0.02, which is 2%. So for our T, that is 5 years. So sabi niya, deposit mo daw for 5 years. So M is equal to 4 since quarterly. Now let's find F and okay, so this is I think. So for compute for the interest rate in the conversion period by. So yung J, so divide lang naman natin yung given na rate of interest I raised to 4 over M, 0.02 divided by 4. And that will be 0.005. Okay, so for the maturity value, using this pinaikseng formula, F is equal to P times 1 plus J raised to N. Okay, so yung J is, compute na natin kanina, I raised to 4 over M, which is 0.005. Tapos yung N natin is, natatandaan kanina, yung M multiply sa T. Na? So, kaya magiging 20 po yan. So, we substitute the values given, 10,000 for the principal amount, then 1 plus 0.05 for the J yang 0.05 na yan. Itong 20, saan po nang galing yan, sir? Dito sa M multiply to T. So, ano ba yung M? So, N is equal to M since quarterly, that is 4. Multiply to T, which is 5 years daw mong i-invest yung pera. So, N is equal to 20. Okay, so substitute lang natin yung mga formula na to or yung mga values na to sa ating formula. So, 10,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.05 raised to 20. So, let's see in our calculator. So 10,000 pesos times 1 plus 0.005 raised to 20. Our answer is 11,048.96. So pwede nating i-direkta yung kanina 10,000 multiply to 1 plus, okay, I raised to m yung given lagi na rate is 0.02. Okay, so over yung m over 4. So exponent raised to 4. So ilan yung given na years? Multiply sa 5. Same lang po yung answer. Mas direct lang kung ganito yung gagawin. Okay? So the compounded interest is given by, so minus lang natin yung future tsaka present or the principal amount. So that is 11,048.96 minus 10,000. That is equal to 1,048.96 pesos. Okay? So pwede rin na ang present value yung hanapin. Ganun lang din po. So bababa lang, di-divide lang natin sa F. So P is equal to F times 1 plus I raised to M over M, or ito yung J, tapos raised to M times T. For example number 2, find the present value. Find the present value. Makikita na agad natin na ang hinahanap ay yung P of 50,000 pesos due in 4 years if money is invested at 12% compounded semi-annually. Okay? So we have the given. Given tayo ng F, 50,000. Given tayo ng T, sabi niya 4 years. Given tayo ng I raised to 2, yung interest. Pero compounded semi-annually daw siya. So yung I raised to 2 natin is 0.12. So P yung hinahanap. First, compute for the interest or yung J, kinompute niya muna. That is I over M. I is 0.12 over 2. Kasi, bakit 2? Dahil semi-annually. 0.06. So, the present value of can be computed by substituting these values in the formula. Pinakita ko rin kanina. So, F is equal to F, P is equal to F times F over 1 plus J raised to N. So, saan nang galing ba to? Di ba? We have formula of F is equal to P times 1 plus J raised to N. So, yung P yung hinahanap ko. So, yung P yung ihiwalay natin sa kabilang side na equation. So, itong buong to is bababa. So, 1 plus J raised to N. So, F over 1 plus J raised to N. Kaya po naging ganyan yung formula. So, the principal amount or the starting value of the money is 50,000 pesos over 1 plus 0.06 raised to the 8th power is 50,000 over 1.06 raised to 8. That is equal to 31,370.62 pesos. Okay? So, paano naman kapag interest rate yung hinahanap, pati yung time? So, given yung principal or yung P and the F, ang nawawala naman is yung I and yung time T. Okay? So, these are the formulas. So, mamanipulate lang natin from the previous formula natin. or the original formula, f is equal to p times 1 plus j raised to n, we get, so ilolog natin parehas, logarithm, para mahanap natin itong n na to. Itong n kasi yung gusto kong hanapin. So, mabababa natin yan kung gagamitan natin ng property of logarithm. So, log of f is equal to log of 1 plus j raised to n. Then, magiging property of logarithm, kapag nakalog, tapos may exponent, bababa yung exponent dito sa tabi ng log. So, that will be log of f is equal to n log of 1 plus j. Nawala na yung exponent. Kasi nga po, binaba mo na. Thus, makakuha natin yung n, which is equal to log of f over log of 1 plus j. So, yan po yung formula for n. And from that n, makukuha natin yung time t. Kasi nga, di ba, n is equal to, naka-multiply pa yan sa m, di ba? So, makuha natin yung t or yung time pag dinivide natin yung n sa m. Okay po? So, let's have example number 1. So, how long will it take 3,000 pesos to accumulate to 3,500 in a bank savings account at 0.25% compounded monthly? Okay? So, dito, makikita natin ano-ano yung mga given. So, F, P, and yung interest. Meron tayong given. Ang nawawala is yung number of years. So, sabi niya, gaano daw katagal para maging 3,500 yung 3,000 mo. Pag sinave mo sa bangko na merong 0.25% interest rate compounded monthly. Okay? So, lagi po yung, kung mapapansin natin, laging mas malaki yung future value. Kasi nga nag-accumulate na siya or nag-earn na siya ng interest. So, mas malaki lagi yung F natin. So, we have the given. We have P is equal to 3,000. F is equal to 3,500. I is 0.25% or 0.0025 in decimal. So we compute M is equal to 12, J is equal to I over M is 0.0025 over 12. Now, punta na tayo sa ating formula. Find N and T. So, substitute natin. Yan. So, N, di ba? Log of formula natin kanina. We have log of F F over P. Nawala pala yung P natin here. So, meron po itong P dito before ng 1 plus J raised to N. So, log of F is equal to log of P times 1 plus J raised to N. So, we get N log of P times 1 plus J Okay, so pwede niya, bago niya i-divide or um, in-instill or in-apply yung property of logarithm, dinivide niya muna yung f sa p. So f over p. So 3,500 divided by 3,000 is equal to 1 plus 0.0025 over 12 raised to n. So ang hiwalay natin is yung n. To solve for n, let's take the logarithms both sides. So logarithm of 3,500 over 3,000 is equal to logarithm of 1 plus 0.0025 over 12 raised to n. So bababa yung n. So makakompute natin yung n, may hiwalay na natin. So n can be computed by formula log of f over p divided by log of 1 plus j raised to, okay, so that's it. 1 plus j lang po pala. That is our formula for n. So, by computing it, nakuha natin yung sa ating worded problem, n is equal to 740 semi-annual payments. So, computing it through our calculator, so this logarithm of log of 3,500 over 3,000 sa baba, log of 1 plus 0.0025 over 12. Okay? So kung makikita natin, nilagay ko as is yung kung ano yung nakasulat. So that will be 740.000. Okay, so pwede natin i-round off as 740 yung ating sagot. So, sagot is n is equal to 740. Pero hinahanap sa atin ay yung number of years, t. Thus, payments must be made for 740 months. Okay? Since monthly nga pala. So, 12 yung m natin since monthly. So, t is equal to n over m. 740 over 12 is 61.67 years. Na? So, imagine that. 61.67 years. So, 740 months rin po yun. Okay? So, yung tanong kanina, imagine that, di ba? It will take 61.67 years, ganong katagal, para mag-accumulate yung pera mo maging 3,500, no? Sa gantong kaliit na interest. So, sobrang liit lang po kasi nung interest na binigay nung bangko. Okay, so kaya sobrang tagal bago maging 3,500 yung pera mo. Okay? So ngayon naman, kapag J naman yung hinahanap. So using the formula for the maturity. Okay? So ang hahanapin naman natin ay itong J. So ito naman yung hindi given. Given ka ng N. Given ka ng F and P. So paano yung magiging formula niya? That will be, so J will be, okay, dinivide niya yung F. Dinivide niya F over P para iwalay yung J. F over P is equal to 1 plus J raised to N. Tapos, nth root para makuha natin, mahiwalay natin si J. So, nth root of F over P. That is equal to 1 plus J. And then, nahiwalay na natin. J will be equal to the nth root of F over P minus 1. So, this will be the formula for the J. Kapag J naman yung inahanap or the interest rate. Okay? So, tatandaan, yung J rin natin na yan is yung given na nominal rate I over M. No? Kapag I yung hinahanap, so mumultiply lang natin sa M. So, J times M. So, that's it. So, ang I, nominal rate, J is the interest rate. So, example number 2, at what nominal rate compounded semi-annually will 10,000 pesos accumulate to 15,000 pesos in 10 years? Okay? So, makikita natin dito ang given sa atin, F, P, at saka yung number of years. So, gaano kataas kaya yung interest nun? Kung kumita yung 10,000, naging 15,000 sa loob ng 10 taon. Okay? So let's compute for the nominal rate or the nominal rate, yan yung I. Okay, so F is equal to 15,000, P is 10,000, T is 10, M is 2. Bakit po M is 2? Kasi compounded semi-annually. So N is equal to M times T, that is 2 times 10, that will be 20. So find I, okay, the nominal rate. Paano natin ito compute? From the formula, nth root of f over p minus 1. No? So, yun din po itong formula na to. J is nth root. Nth root ng f over p minus 1. Okay? So, substituting. So, 20th root ng f over p is 1.5. 15,000 over 10,000, that is 1.5. Nth root nun, or 20th root ng 1.5 is equal to 1 plus j, tapos nth root ng 1 ng f over p minus 1 is equal to j. So, j is equal to 0.0205. So, paano sa calculator? Nth root. So, ito po yun. 20th root, no? Okay. So, f over p is f yung 15,000. Tapos 10,000 yung principal amount. Minus natin ng 1. Okay, so that is our answer, 0.0205. So, J pa lang po yun. Ang hinahanap sa atin ay yung I. So, J is 0.02205 or 2.05%. So, the nominal rate, multiply lang natin siya sa M. So, nominal rate, M, since M is 2, so I is equal to J times 2. So 0.0205 times 2 is 0.0410 or 4.10%. So this is our final answer.